I've always wanted to do a video on the AE911Truth crowd. Richard Gage and Stephen Jones particularly. When I see people following people like that, it is so disheartening to see something like that working. There are blogs, vlogs, just praising them and their thermite evidence and how they prove without a doubt that steel frame structures can't fall to the ground with office fires. As if that shouldn't be common sense observation from all of us. Not that we should all realize that, because we're pretty brainwashed through school. If you remember science class, how they made it confusing on purpose. Never said it simply so you would get it, the concepts. They were more interested in the most kids getting left behind in the no child left behind mindset. I challenge anyone to show me a building that Richard Gage designed, or prove anything that he did as an architect before he showed up on this 9/11 DISINFO circuit. Anyone who knows anything about Stephen Jones knows that he's a plant. He's a scientist that works for the government. Whenever they need someone to run interference on a major issue, they call him in. Research what he did with cold fusion. Now that was, even if he wasn't working for the government, that was so ethically wrong that you should pounce on him, just as a person. But no, people don't do that. He shut it down almost single-handedly, and he just showed up at this very strategic time. When Richard Gage showed up, he was the founder of AE911Truth with this full-on DVD, as if he was a video producer. You think an architect knows how to do stuff like that? Organize a really good documentary, just so happens he's talented at that kind of thing? No, it's just part of the DISINFO scheme of things. Just like loose change. It's there to distract you and convince you a little bit, but then for the most part steer you in the wrong direction. The little barrier that Gage has where he doesn't discuss who might have done it. Because that's the idea. To keep you stopped. Thinking, stopped. Stopped. Pacified. Distracted. Occupied. So you just sit there listening to him instead of acting on your instincts. That's the idea, and worse, giving him money. He makes about $100 grand a year doing his tours and selling his DVDs. He doesn't make a move towards Congress. You don't see him on the podium in the Capitol building, do you? Or anywhere near it. Yeah, you'll see him in some ballroom where you gotta pay $15 to get in to see him talk about stuff that you can watch on YouTube. What a scam. I mean, geez. You got Ed Asner in the video, for God's sake. I mean, you gotta get mad about this kind of thing. You gotta understand what disinformation really is and all the multifacets of it. They are all disinfo. All of them. Any of them that you see prominently in the 9/11 Truth movement, any of them that go to the podium and just hold the sheep in trance, they are all with the government to subvert you and distract you, confuse you, and pacify you into a complacency of indecision. And you know what? It's working. It's working, and that sucks. We were attacked. We were attacked in every kind of way. Not just our country, our future, our finances. Everybody that had a mutual fund that day, it was cut in half. There's people today still thinking, oh, it'll come back one day. No, it's not gonna. Do you know how many commissions were made off of that lie? How many homes have been lost because of that? How many lives, careers, off of that one moment? And these bastards are making money off of all of you victims who already had it bad enough with enough loss in your life. You should all congregate and rise up against anybody that's making money off of that tragedy. No, even if they're telling the truth, if they're making money off the tragedy, get mad. Get mad. That's ridiculous. That's immoral. They are all making money off their book or their DVD under the guise that, oh, well, we have to make a profit to continue the good cause, just like a Catholic priest who's only interested in the little kid. Disgusting. Any Catholic knows when they've donated their whole life and it comes time to have their funeral and they die, you still got to pay for that too. They never talk about bringing Lazarus from the dead to a crowd of grieving people at a funeral because they know it's a lie. It's all strategy. And you're not wrong for being able to be fooled, because we all want to hope there's a peaceful way to do this. But there is not. You cannot just appeal to Congress for an investigation. In case you haven't noticed, it hasn't happened, and they heard you. They heard you. Every single one of those elected incumbents, whatever, they all heard you. You want an investigation. The whole country does. Are they doing it? No. Why? Because they're all bribed. They are all in on it. Ron Paul is in on it. If you see them in the Senate, they are in on it. All of them. The criminals do not allow anyone who is not in on it to be prominently placed. It doesn't happen. It does not happen. You've got to realize that. People like Richard Gage, Stephen Jones, Fetzer, all of them, they're in on it. They're getting paid. Or I gotta say, allegedly, or yeah, I'm pretty sure. Okay? Follow them around. Research where they're from. Show me a building Richard Gage worked on. Really, I mean, show me something that's real. We're just supposed to believe, oh, he's AIA and he's a San Francisco architect, and everyone leaves it at that. I've never seen any reference to anything he ever did before he started this. He's all over the place to reference him talking about Building 7, but any building they actually constructed, nada. That's weird, okay? Maybe I'm wrong, but he's DISINFO. If he was an architect before, he's not now. He's not going to be again. That's what I have to say about that. Wake up. You gotta understand how the criminals think. If they just left it at the official story for everyone to squabble about and really conjure it up, they'd be in trouble. They gotta throw their people in there to talk about the things that you'll figure out on your own. Okay? They're going to tell you things that they know somebody's gonna figure out. And in the midst of the things that you will figure out on your own, they slip something in there that's scientifically plausible in that sort of scenario, but did not happen. But it's convincing enough. And as long as you are hoodwinked into that, then you're going to just sit and listen instead of standing and act on your rights, and your right to life, liberty, and happiness. Please. Please. I know those videos are interesting, but there's more to it. What really happened to those buildings has not been said yet. It's been stuff that's close. They figured out a way to bring down those buildings by pushing a button. Some kind of a button that does some kind of a electromagnetic molecular thing. Something that can turn steel into dust. The rubble at the bottom, I'm not a Judy Wood follower. I mean, she's doing the same kind of thing. She must be. Because all she cares about is her book. And that's the key. That's all she cares about. And if you disagree with her, boy, she gets mad. She's got her own little shtick about how she does it. And it's so insulting because we all care. We all want to know the truth. Her little thing about truth and just to dismiss anybody else who's got a question, no. Go away, Judy. Go away. That's not how it works. You don't just get to make your money and get to smile your own way and have it your own way as if you did 9/11, which you might have done. But that's not how we're going to do this. We're human beings. Okay? You don't respect us. You just want our money. You're going to, at least someone like me who has some sense, and hopefully other people that do, we're going to get you off that podium and tell you to shut up. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Some ridiculous, crazy thing happened that day and affected too many lives on both sides of the Atlantic. Too many people are dead and ruined. And we need to round together and have our own investigation, our own trial. We got to be able to recognize the infiltration plants that show up like weeds that show up in the sidewalk out of nowhere. Like the weeds that grow after a rain when you're trying to grow grass that you planted. But oh no, the weeds grow better instead. Why? The thing that you don't want to happen is what happens the most prominently in a yard full of bluegrass plants. We get all these unidentifiable things growing up out of the rain. That's what you got with the DISINFO crowd. And they're all DISINFO. Alex Jones, anyone that goes on his show is DISINFO. Anybody, I mean anybody, that he puts on his screen is a plant. Anybody. It's all bullshit. They got us paying these gigantic percentages on mortgages and 30 taxes per person, and it all goes to these criminals. That's where it all goes. All of our money to criminals. Please, you just gotta wake up. Please, you know who I mean. They're the ones doing it. They started off as shepherds, and they're not shepherding sheep in that part of the world anymore, but they haven't given up being shepherds. Until you give up being sheep, that's when they'll stop being shepherds. I think you know what I mean. We outnumber them. It is time to rise up and stop them.